Hello and welcome to week 5 of Coding for Educators. Um, so we just finished up our first 4 weeks and we looked at an excellent introductory tool for programming, and that was Scratch. Scratch was, as I've said before, developed to help get students engaged, initiated into programming. And so it's a very useful tool for younger students, and it's a useful tool for any age student, but to help those who are new get involved, it's a great introduction, and that's why we used it first. Starting week 5, we're going to move into Python, and Python is more of a traditional programming language. As programming languages go, it is considered one of the easiest to learn. And I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about that. If you've learned languages like C, C++, Java, Ruby, you'll kind of understand that as we go along. If you're brand new to programming, it doesn't really matter to you. Just suffice to say, syntactically, in other words, the language and symbols that are used in Python are much simplified compared to other languages. So just going to kind of leave that there. So what I'd like you to do for this week, it's Thanksgiving week, so it's going to be a little lighter this week, but we are going to throttle up quickly on the next week, so week 6. There's a lot to cover in Python. We're not even going to come close to covering, all the stuff in Python, but I want to give you enough of an introduction that you have some familiarity with it. And if you like it or you see some practical application in what you're doing as tech specialists or as educators, then you'll hopefully have gotten enough of an intro to it so you can go learn more about it and continue learning how to use Python. So first thing you should do this week is go to python.org and download and install Python. So this is the home page, and right there you see downloads. If you have a Windows machine, you can download 3.6.3. If you have some other type of operating system, probably a Mac OS, you can go here and pick the Python release that works for you. I'm not familiar with the Mac OS, so I'm assuming that this latest release should function without a problem. But if you are more familiar with your Mac and you see some specification here that you would need to download that version of Python, please do so. Let me know if you have any questions on that, and I'll try to help you out. But hopefully that part should be pretty easy. About the Python site, it's actually a pretty good site. I would encourage you to take a look at the different aspects of Python, everything from docs to jobs, some simple tutorials, etc. So this is a good site. I like it and would encourage it. All right, so once you have Python installed, you should go to wherever you have your programs. In this case, I'm in Windows. So I'm scrolling to the letter P, and there I have Python 3.6. And what you want to run is idle. That will be the editor that we're going to use to run Python, and then we'll be using Python shell to execute and interact with the programs that we write. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. So here is our first example of a Python program. We're going to go over a couple of things here to get you familiar with some of the basic elements of Python. In Scratch, if you recall, we created variables using the block variables. In Python, we just simply, if we want a variable, say give it a name. In this case, name is name. Name equals input. What is your name? Okay, and you will see in a second that this line of code executes in such a way that it will ask on the screen, what is your name? The \n, that is considered an escape character that will bring you to a new line after this is done. But this waits for input. Whatever you enter is assigned to the variable name. The next line of code is print. Okay, and there's a print, lowercase, parentheses, whatever you want to actually show up on the screen is put in quotation marks. Okay, and then you have, in this case, I want to say print hi, and then I want to have the variable name print. So if I input my name as Pat, I want to say hi Pat. Okay, these hashtags right here, these hashtags are how we comment things. It'll be important in Python as in Scratch to make comments. So this is the hashtag. Basically, the computer will not compile anything that has a hashtag before it. All right, so let's run this program. And to do that, when you type this in, first thing you should do is go and click Save. That will allow your program to be run. So then we're going to say Run. And you can run the Python shell by itself, but we're going to run module, which is what we've just typed here, and that will automatically open up Python shell as well. All right, so this is the Python shell. So this is now where I can input and respond to my program. So what is my name? My name is Pat. And then I hit enter, and then it says, hi Pat, program is done. Okay, so these three little greater than signs are considered a prompt in Python. And you can do things like just put in 2 + 2 and hit return, and it'll enter in 4. If I want to do multiplication, I use the asterisk, and that returns a multiplication answer. So that is a little bit about shell, how it works. That's all you really need to know for this part of the lesson. So I'm going to close out my shell. For this program, what I'd like you to do is modify it. Okay, very simple modification. We're going to do a traditional hello world program. And so I want you to modify this program to print hello world this is, and then you want to use the variable name as you did here. So this should be your first program that you do, and it should say hello world this is, and in my case it would say this is Pat. Hello world is the traditional first program that all new programmers type in when they are learning how to program. So I'd like you to do that first. All right. Our second example is a little bit more fun, and this uses something called a library. When you want to use code that has already been written that does certain things, we call it importing a library. And so in this case, I'm importing the library Turtle. And Turtle is a way for us to interact with the Python shell environment in a graphical way. So we can draw lines, we can change colors, we can give directions, right, left, backward, forward, etc. We'll talk a little bit more about Turtle library later. So let's take a look at this program. We have our hashtag square spiral.py. That's just simply telling us the name. It's a comment of our program. We're importing Turtle, okay, and this is going to give us some access to some functionality. Here we're doing something that you haven't seen before. We're saying t is equal to turtle.pen. And this is basically a way that instead of us having to write turtle.pen.forward or something to that effect, we can just abbreviate that and say turtle.pen is going to equal t. So whenever we use the letter t, we're really using that turtle.pen. All right? If that doesn't make sense, that's okay. Just go with it for now. All right, loops. So this is our first example of a loop. 4x in range of 100. Okay, it doesn't say of. I put that in there. 4x in range 100, colon. So in Python, when you are in a loop, you have to give it a range. So between some number and another number. In this case, we're using parentheses and we just have 100. It's understood that it's a range between 0 and 99. That's just understood when you see that in the parentheses there. It's 0 to 99. So the first, and it's called steps. So the first step in the loop would be 0. The last step in the loop would be 99. So this is the loop here. Goes through over and over and over 100 times. The first time it does it, it says T. Remember that T stands for turtle pen. Dot forward X. And in the first instance, X will be 0, so it's not going to go anywhere. It then says T dot left 90 degrees, or 90, which means turn left by 90 degrees. And then it'll go through again. Now X, now it's going to increase X by 1 every time it goes through. So X will, here, X will go from 0 to 1. So it'll be T dot forward 1, okay? And then it'll return 90 again. And so on and so on and so on until it gets to 99. So let's take a look at what this does. That's what happens if you don't save. And as you can see, it's drawing a rather cool series of squares. All right, and that's it. That little line of code did that cool design. This is a great way to get students engaged quickly into the power of programming and Python. All right, so I'd like you to modify this program. All right, so we have T forward. What happens if you were to put T dot backward X? What if you were to modify T dot left to 45 degrees instead of 90? Try to guess what shape you think might be drawn. If you're a mathematician, that might be fun. If not, just make the modification and see and explain after you see it what type of shape is drawn. Okay? So we went over a couple things this week. Like I said, it's a light week, so you're not doing a whole lot of typing, but I want you to get used to some of the syntax in Python, how to comment, how to import, how to assign an object or a variable, how to draw, how to print. We did that over here. How to print something onto the screen and how to take input from a user. So that should be good for this week. If you do those two modifications, that would be great. And what you're going to turn in is your Py file. So you're going to go here and say save as, and you should see save as type Python file. And you should get that little Python icon. That's the file that I want you to turn in. It should say Python file. So you'll submit that to me for the assignment. All right, that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. Happy to help you. Hope you have a good Thanksgiving. And you know, if you're really bored, maybe you can use Python Turtle to draw some cool Thanksgiving designs. Have a great week.